So it is again Saturday, and you know what that means. It's another episode of Sangatsu no Line, and as we freaking know, we are getting to the end. It's very much now the penultimate episode of this goddamn masterpiece of a show. And I'm not happy because I don't want to see it go. I'm too well invested into the show to actually kind of say goodbye to it just yet, so it's gonna be hard to see it go next week. I'm like, do I want to see it go? No, because it's so freaking good. It's one of the only shows that I love coming back to each week besides Gintama because it's so freaking good. But alas, most of the time, if YouTube was to kick in one day, alas, all good things must come to an end, as they say. But as we know, hopefully YouTube will actually just kick in. Like, come on, you can do it. I believe in you. I believe in you. Come on. We'll just receive it in a minute. And get ready. It's been more than a minute. Hey! There we go. There we go. Yeah, so you probably can tell I've actually changed a tiny bit. I've got a new chair which is kind of a lot taller than usual. So my actual kind of setup's actually kind of changed a little bit. So if I actually seem a bit too more elevated than usual, it's just because I changed chair. I mean, yeah, so this week's episode of Sangatsu no Line will be interesting because we've had the whole entire match between not Arima and Shimada, which did not end well because we will not speak about it because Shimada did not lose that match. Like, he didn't lose, like, he never lost that match. It's a different reality that we got. Like, he never lost the match, he actually won the match, but the reality we got, he lost it, but actually, in theory, he won it. If you get what I mean, if you catch my drift. So, yeah. But though at the same time, it feels as if now that I think Ray might be able to springboard off the whole entire thing. Like, he actually might just slightly improve, I would say. Maybe, like, kind of look for the answers himself instead of looking for the answers within other people, as he said last week. So, maybe, just freaking maybe, it might be a little bit different this week compared to usual. But, yeah, got a bit of my hair stuck in my lens. I can see it and scream, like, ah. But, yeah. Also, I've actually changed setup as well for actual like streaming. I'm not using Hangouts anymore. I'm actually using OBS for the whole entire thing. OBS is now my main thing because I found out with Hangouts it does not work. Like, Hangouts just dies. So it's best if I just leave it like this and just use this from now on because it just won't die. Hopefully, that's what you want. I might turn down the quality on YouTube because just in case something happens in the meantime. But yeah, I mean, I think next week they will announce a season 2. They have to announce a season 2. Like, they can't just not announce a season 2. They have to. They have to go and say, look guys, by the way, we know it's not kind of gearing up for a final, but actually after this point season 2 airs. You're like, yeah. Hope that's what they do, because otherwise I don't know what I'll do. Read a manga, but I don't know what I'll do. Instead I'm like, no, come on Shaft. Be good guys and do it. Like, Madhouse has announced the season 2 of Overlord, for God's sake. You could just be like them. Just do it. Come on. Just do it. Though Overlord season 2 does look terrifying, to be honest, from what I think about it. But anyway, enough talk. Let's get on with what happens in this episode. So, starting in 3, 2, 1. And let's begin now. There we are. I wouldn't mind the wait if I knew it was coming. If I knew it's there, I don't technically mind because it's like one of those things that I don't. Whoa, jeez. I just realized Crunchyroll just completely destroys my computer. Apparently, hold on. That's better. Well, apparently using OBS as well with Crunchyroll does not work very well. So I actually found out. I mean, it's just gonna be sad to see this actual like song go as well. I've loved the intro to this actual anime. It's one of those. It's just one of those shows that you just can't help but love because of what it does. But no one just tends to watch it, apparently. Which is depressing the more I think about it. Also, do tell me if anything happens with the stream as well, just in case I need to actually fix anything. I'm still test running this whole entire thing. I need to upgrade his computer one day. I actually realised that. For some odd reason, it tends to fracking hell. I think it's a little bit jittery. So that's how you start an episode. You got Momo. That's how you start it. Oh, that's right. If it's just a tiny bit off sync, it's not so bad. It's just when it's like completely off sync, you're like, whoa. It kind of reminds me there's actually good times. Ah, okay, it's fine then. Kind of reminds me of the good times when this anime is not so depressing all the goddamn time. You get Momo, Hina, and Akari just remind you that. There needs to be justice with Shimada as well. I can't go on seeing Shimada like this. Shimada has to have a nice time. Oh. That kind of hurts your heart a tiny bit when you think about it. See, why does life treat him that way? He's such a goddamn bro. Shimada's like the best bro in the universe, and no one ever treats him correctly. He's too good for the anime. Alright, Shaft, if you're editing. Alright, we get it. We know you're cool, okay? We get it, we know it. Okay, it's one of those things, we get it, okay? Just continue, anyway. Just continue. Oh, this is actually pretty freaking cool, I ain't gonna lie. You know, visualizations, I ever say the word of it. It's actually pretty freaking neat. I ain't gonna lie. He's so goddamn adorable. It breaks my heart. Nikaido is so freaking good. I love him. Human shogi does seem interesting, to be honest. I wish that actually could see that more often. The more I think about it, I'm like, that's pretty freaking cool. At least we also get more chairmen this week as well. That's another thing to note. More chairmen's always good. He's such a goddamn bro. It breaks me two faces to see this man so unhappy sometimes. Like, he's happy now, but still. This is breaking me in pieces. He's he's such a good person. Why? We don't deserve him. We don't deserve him. We could tear up slightly. He is just the best human being in the goddamn world. Christ. There he goes. My tears are coming out now. I didn't. I didn't think I was gonna. I didn't think this episode was gonna make me cry, but then it kind of did. A bit with the old man. It kind of got me in the heart. Holy cow! I'm all emotionally destroyed. I need some healing. He is the best person alive. He literally is. Everyone else around him is the best person alive as well. Oh man. He's my favorite character anime ever now. Like he's just gone beyond any other anime character I've seen in my life. Like man, it hurts me. It hurts me hard. At least now we get cooking science of grandpa. At least we're getting some more healing part of the episode now. See, this show knows when to actually kind of juxtapose the drama and comedy and kind of make it really freaking damn work. Not a lot of animes can do it. Gintama does it perfectly, and this one does it as well. Yeah, I think I think he generally is the best husbando in the goddamn universe. Like he's best boy of the universe. Like I don't know. He deserves a lady that will treat him right. The only lady we know treat him right is Akari. So this is where the healing was lying the whole entire time. Because people be like, this is a healing show, and everyone's all like, nah, fam. We get to the middle of the show, it's not a healing show, it'll destroy your emotions. Then it actually will replenish them afterwards as well, somehow. Because it actually does it so perfectly. And now I'm hungry. I mean, if you didn't watch the first 50 minutes of the show, you'd imagine the show is so goddamn pure, so goddamn nice. It does generally feel like, I don't know. This episode's editing is actually really freaking good. Like, it's one of those things that took me by surprise. Some of the shots, how they kind of go from one to the other, actually look really freaking good. Oh man, the finals next week. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man, that's the end of another week of Sangatsu no Lion. AKA the only show where we're going to see once in a goddamn lifetime. Don't remind me of the last episode next week. It's not happening. Next week's actually the second to last episode again. Like, it's not. It's a different reality we're getting. It's what this anime's done to us. Oh man, this was a little bit different than I expected. I wasn't expecting how kind of, I would say, a bit more uplifting than I imagined originally. Like, it's a bit of a more uplifting episode than usual because, I mean, the actual thing behind everything was kind of depressing, but it didn't really feel that way in how it was trying to be conveyed. It tried making happiness out of a depressing situation. If you get what I mean. Which is what it generally does all the time when you think about it. A lot of the time, this anime does do that. When there's a bad situation, it tends to make a happiness out of it, which is one of those things you never expect from a show like this. It was actually really freaking nice because not a lot of shows do it. A lot of shows will just give you depression, that's about it. They don't try to actually kind of make you realise the happiness within it. Even they kind of don't mention the fact it's the final episode. It makes me wonder something. Constantly going, hello! Whether or not it actually might be the final episode, whether or not they might just announce second core coming in, like, I don't know, summer. It might just happen. It might just happen. Hopefully once they actually cancel Crunchyroll, it might just kind of not go so laggy. Come on, go down. Go down, CPU. Oh man, I'm still trying to get over the bit at the beginning with the old men. It just broke me. I was just like, oh my god, I did not expect that was gonna break me, but it did. I was like, Christ. That's one of those things. I was like, man, good job, anime. Good job. You got me good. You got me good. But really, in theory, let's talk about this episode in a whole entire nutshell. It was, this is beforehand, unless my sync was going a bit weird. The actual episode itself was way more uplifting than I actually imagined originally. Like, it wasn't one of those episodes which kind of relished in the whole entire idea of the backing behind it, which was kind of depressing. It didn't really relish in that idea. It kind of just told you, look, don't worry, in life, when everything looks completely awful, there's always good in it. It's always good at the end of the whole entire thing. Which is kind of a nice thing, because it always has done that. Even in the worst situations, there's always been this light, this beaming light of happiness. It hasn't always been depressing. Yeah, it's made us cry, it's made us do everything in between. But at the same time, there's always been this, like, shred of happiness, which kind of made it a bit more uplifting than usual, because a lot of the shows other than this one will just kind of relish in the depression and not do anything with it. It will just kind of just show that and kind of go with that and not do anything with it besides show that. It won't give any happiness. This and a couple other shows do it perfectly. They will just kind of give you that sense of happiness as well, which kind of alleviates this idea of what it's trying to say, if you get what I mean. It's trying to it just tells you there's two sides of every single coin, basically. Like, it's not just all these things. I mean, because you had the whole entire thing about Shimada going back and actually having to explain to everyone else what's really happened, and in everything, not once did it ever kind of allude to the idea, ever kind of just show you that everyone else would kind of be disappointed in him, because no one else will be disappointed in him, because as the old man said, they will never change, and what they said originally will always stick. So it's kind of one of those things, but at the same time, I do seek that validation of what Shimada said as well. Shimada did actually mention about the fact that actually sometimes you need to be berated, because what's the point if everyone's going to tell you there's nothing wrong here, don't worry, it'll get better. There's no point, because you don't feel yourself you can improve. Like if you kind of get told, like, look, this is what you need to do to improve, like by someone else, it kind of then allows for you to kind of see your mistakes through someone else's eyes and actually kind of then improve them. Because again, sometimes you yourself, you kind of just sit there and go, I've done everything wrong here, but you don't technically tend to pinpoint the major thing. If someone else tells you that you've done this wrong, then you kind of do fix that situation. It helps you, if you get what I mean. It doesn't actually always kind of... It's constructive, you get what I mean. Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing to see the people you love tell you that, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it helps you, because then you can actually improve as time goes on. That's one of the things I actually kind of like about the show. It kind of said that. I was like, that's actually technically true. Like, in essence, it's good that he doesn't get berated by the people he loves, but at the same time, it might be valid for him to get berated, actually get told, look, not that we're disappointed in you, but look, just do better next time. Just don't worry about it. But at the same time, it just got even more depressing when you just realised what he has done for everyone else. It kind of is one of those things that it hits you. Like, it hits you really freaking hard, because he's an amazing person. Like, he's probably one of those people you will never see ever again in an anime, because he's one of a kind, because he really is. He did all those things, and he doesn't technically almost... He's so humble about it. Like, he doesn't think of himself any more than anything else. Like, he's any other person. Like, he's one of those people. He's done so much for all of those people in his village that you would imagine that maybe people might recognize him. He might have some recognition of everyone everywhere else, but in theory, no. He's still the most humble being in existence. He doesn't see himself as anything more than anyone else, which is really freaking nice, because it kind of allows you to see antithesis of certain people in this show who tend to kind of see themselves above other people, like that dude last week who was next to Ray. Like, he didn't really kind of see himself he didn't see anything else besides getting to the top, and that people were below him. So it's kind of nice. It's kind of one of those things I really enjoyed, the fact they went into his actual backstory, because it kind of gave you that context that you've really freaking needed. Like, it's one of those things, it cemented the idea of how great this person is. Like, we knew already, like, he is the greatest man in existence. We won't see him ever freaking again. Like, I think I'm actually a bit too quiet at the moment, but I'll turn myself up a tiny bit. Yeah, you won't ever see him again, but it's kind of nice to be reminded even more about this idea. Just kind of just tell you, look, no, he is the most fantastic human being you will ever come in contact with. Like, man, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful episode. Like, this is one of those episodes I didn't expect from the second to last episode, because a lot of reviewers I've seen lately are kind of just saying about the fact there's only 2 episodes left, and people are actually kind of scared, like, well, how it's all going to end. I'm kind of sitting there going, you know what, I don't really mind how it's going to end, because the actual series itself up to this whole entire point has been such a freaking good ride that I just don't care how it goes out. Like, it's one of those things, like, you don't mind if the series itself is good up to the whole entire point. You don't mind how this episode will turn out, because it's one of those things that you will know one day down the line they will make a sequel to it, because Shaft 9 out of 10 times do make sequels to their shows. Can't remember the last time I've never seen them not make a sequel, but I could be wrong. But it's just one of those things. I don't mind how it'll end, because it's just such a freaking fantastic show that you just love it. You love it either way. It's one of those shows that it will remind you there's actually still good in shows which don't have a lot of action and stuff like that. More character-driven shows like this need to be actually kind of made. Like, if you get what I mean, because shows like this and Showa need to be made, because they kind of remind you that not every single show needs action to actually kind of be freaking fantastic. Don't get me wrong, because certain shows of action are freaking fantastic, but sometimes we need shows like this to kind of remind you, no, you don't need action to actually have a great show. Characters can carry a whole entire show, and their themes and everything else in between can actually carry that show as well. And I think this show does it perfectly. This show does it freaking amazingly. Like, I just can't argue with it. But one other thing I want to touch upon is Ray's character as well, because Ray as the series has gone on in this second core, he's feeling less and less like an outsider, if you get what I mean, because beforehand it kind of felt as if he was an outsider to everywhere he went. In essence, still, though he kind of felt welcome in Akari's house, he generally did still feel like as if he was an outsider. But now as time goes on, and ever since he lost to Shimada and actually kind of joined Shimada's workshop, he kind of then improved. He kind of then springboarded off of it, and actually kind of now he feels as if he's more welcome in places. Like, look, when he was with Shimada in his hometown, that whole entire bit, you didn't really feel like as if he was an outsider. You really felt like he was actually a part of that community, because the community felt so humble and so, like, kind of heartwarming that you kind of felt as if he was a part of it. The same thing happens with Akari's household as well. Like, he doesn't really feel outside of it, because he almost feels as if he's warranted there. He almost feels as if he actually does belong there. It's actually kind of neat, because I'm actually seeing Ray improve as time goes on because of other people. It's actually one of those things that he generally needed. Like, last week he did generally say that, look, this is a world we have to just pick up and carry on. So that's what I'm going to do. And I think, yeah, it's depressing that Shimada lost, but at the same time, it's kind of one of those things which has a double meaning towards it. Like, in essence, yeah, it's depressing seeing our best bro lose, but at the same time, Ray can actually now see what's going on here and actually say, look, I've got to actually kind of find my answers myself. I can't see other people. I've got to get better. And I think that's what we needed. I think we need these kind of events to happen for Ray's character to actually improve, because again, if nothing like this happens, then he won't improve. He will still be in the same emotional rut he was in beforehand. But as the series has gone on in the second core as well, very much prevalently in the later sections of this core, it's kind of showing us this perfectly, just showing us that he's actually improving so goddamn much, because other people basically just reminded him of the good he has done and what he actually can do to improve, and actually has helped him to actually kind of realize these things and actually kind of be happy, if you get what I mean. Just be happy. Just not always kind of be depressed and everything like that. Don't always see yourself as inferior, because you're not. You yourself has something inside you that actually kind of differentiates yourself from other people. That's what I kind of like seeing in this show, because it just tells you that. Because again, that was Sensei just said, look, you've done so goddamn much in your short amount of life that I don't understand why you see yourself as anything other than amazing. Like, look, you're a great person, so don't think yourself anything little. It's one of those things. It's nice to be reminded of these things, because again, sometimes living in that kind of emotional rut does kind of just leads you to self-destruction, to a point that you don't see yourself as anything. To be reminded of these things is actually kind of nice. And even then as well, to actually kind of see other people in a situation that you might have actually seen yourself in beforehand, but in a bigger scale, it kind of then allows you to see that you have to actually kind of get better. You actually have to improve, you have to go beyond, to pick yourself up, because failing is just one thing. Failing is the first step to succeeding. That's the word I'm looking for. That's what I like about it as well, because it tells you that failure is the first step to succeeding. That's what I like. Yeah, that's what I kind of like. I think the core itself is very much just giving us what we need with Ray's character. It's kind of given us it through very, very different means, like in essence show don't tell kind of thing, because it's one of those things that you didn't expect this show to kind of then explain everything without really using exposition, if you get what I mean. Because again, a lot of the things that has actually improved Ray's character has actually come from not actually Ray himself. Like, everyone else has kind of improved him, but now he's kind of seeing that and actually kind of improving himself. Like, he's just basically picking up all the pieces and going, I gotta get better now. So that's what he's gonna do. And I actually quite like it, because it's a very different way of character developing than your usual, look, I've actually seen my flaws, I gotta get better, because he's seen it for other people, and then he's actually seen it in himself, and actually then he knows himself he's got to improve to get beyond that point, to actually ask himself why. That's the main thing. Because again, I mean, the main parallel I can draw towards is Subaru, because in ReZero, Subaru kind of said to himself, look, I know I'm this bad person, I don't understand how I got to this whole entire point, but he kind of saw it in himself, and it kind of felt as if that he had to do it, if you get what I mean. It almost felt as if it was warranted to the plot and nothing else. Yes, it was good character development, don't get me wrong, it was amazing character development, but at the same time, it was warranted towards the plot. It didn't really feel as if it was natural, because again, this whole entire point, Subaru's been a complete douche, and in episode 18, he kind of said to himself, freaking hell, I'm a bad person. And he kind of actually said, I gotta change this. I mean, Rei's character development has been different because he's kind of seen it in other people, then seen it in himself, and then actually kind of saying, look, I've got to improve this on my own. I can't rely on everyone else. He's become self-reliant, though he knows himself now he has other people around him that actually kind of make him feel as if he's actually welcome and actually in that kind of ecosystem, you get what I mean? Which is very much nice. One of those things that I think this show does well, because it just reminds you there's other people around you that you don't have to go on in life on your own. There's other people around you actually can help you, which is one of those things, because if you sympathize a lot with Rei, if you see yourself within Rei, it's one of those things that it kind of allows you to actually feel a lot better as well. One of those things, it can be self-reflective, like it kind of reminds you that, look, you don't have to actually live on your own in these whole entire things. There's actually other people around you who make you feel welcome in these whole entire things. It's actually quite nice because it's showing it, but it's making you kind of self-reflective, actually kind of sympathizing with a lot more than other people do. It's actually quite good when you think about it. Like, if you see yourself within him, and you yourself then realize, well, freaking hell, I've been blind like him. Then it's one of those animes which remind you there's actually kind of more than just what you're seeing. If you get what I mean. If a show goes more deeper, then it's actually worked as a piece of art. If you get what I mean. That's when you kind of characterize a show as a piece of art. If it actually has gone beyond just being passive entertainment. If it's gone beyond that point, you know it's pretty freaking good. And I think this show's done it. I think this show's done it perfectly. So, good job, Shaft, and good job, Sangatsu. I don't want to see it end. Like, that's a major thing now. I just don't want to see it finish because it's so freaking fantastic that you want another week of it. Because it's one of those shows you come back to each week, and it just surprises you each week, and you kind of just go, well, freaking hell, it's over now. What do I do with my life? But alas, as everything happens in life, all good things come to an end. So, with all that said, I have indeed been the driver. If you have enjoyed this stream as a whole, and you do want to leave a like, then do leave a like, because indeed it does help me quite a bit. If you have enjoyed what I do here, and you want to stay that a little bit longer, then do leave a sub, because indeed it does help me quite a bit. But until next week with the final of Sangatsu no Lion, I shall see you guys later.